hands on the wheels, and you can see it's disconnected. We have not reached the halfway point yet. We are just at 203 kilometers, but we have only 45% left. And welcome to another video. Let's jump into the car and I'll explain what we are supposed to do today. This car has 438 kilometers of range, apparently at 100%. 438 kilometers of range is based on the EPA standard, which is the American standard. So that's why this is lower than VLTP like we see in Europe. Today we are going to drive 460 kilometers to Oslo. We are now in the Bergen area. We are right outside Bergen, but it's the same distance to Oslo as Bergen. 438 kilometers is not 460 kilometers, it is less. So we will see if we can beat the EPA estimate of this car by driving 7+ hours to Oslo. This is a very normal route for many Norwegians between west and east of Norway. So it is a very good and representative test for this. Okay, so let's just show you the route here. I think we will plot in, this is a Tesla supercharger station in Oslo, so I think that will be our destination area. I'll say remove all charging stops, so let's see if we can do this. Anyways, the rules are simple. We drive like Norwegians do. So it says 5% on arrival in Oslo. And stay below 75 kilometers per hour to reach destination. We will not follow this advice. We will drive like we normally do, and we will not drive any slower. We will rather just stop and charge instead. The reason it shows that we should stay below this is to reach it without charging. It says 5%, and that's if we follow that advice. But since it's 7+ hours until we are in Oslo, this is, and 459 kilometers is actually the estimated range here, and you can see the EPA number is 438 kilometers. Anyways, we will see what we will arrive with, and I'll keep you updated along the trip. And you can see immediately when I start driving, it'll announce the speed limit. This is EU regulation, so I need to turn off the speed limit warning every time. Aside from that, we have the headlights on automatically because it's foggy outside, which is super nice to see. I had problems with that with my earlier Tesla, that it wouldn't turn on the headlights when it was foggy outside. So this is very, very nice to see. So the start of this trip will be very foggy because it's in the morning, but as we get up into the mountains, there will be more beautiful scenery. By the way, are you able to guess how many times I'll change the ambient lighting inside this car? Like you can see, it's a purple color, and now if you are able to count how many times I change the ambient lighting throughout the video, leave a comment down below. And I'll pick some winners to get some stickers sent to them. So yeah, I want the number of times I change the ambient lighting throughout the video. Just as information, we will also use the climate control normally. If I'm hot, I'll cool me down, and if I'm cold, I'll heat me up. I don't care about saving energy on this trip. We will drive as normal Norwegians would drive, and we will pass people that are slower than us. So just to get a realistic estimate here, I am totally ready for bailing out and charging if needed. But if I can get to my destination where I would normally have home charging without charging at a supercharger, that is a testament to the efficiency of this vehicle. This area is so so cool to drive, but it's also so sketchy. On my channel I have a video of me driving an ID bus with a trailer, and I actually ended up in a gnarly situation right here because I needed to actually back up through a curve since there were so many people coming in the opposite direction. That was kind of interesting. This area is, while beautiful, it is, yeah, you can't drive too fast here because of the road width, really. So for scenery, this is one of my favorite stretches of road. To get the fjord, and right now it's the clouds are low, so it looks magical. It looks absolutely amazing. And we're starting to get into autumn right now, so the trees have more color than ever. That's why autumn is my favorite season. It is absolutely amazing. And that's why I live in Western Norway. It's beautiful. Much better than the east, at least. But the east has Oslo, which is the nearest you come a large city in Norway. And it's not even a large city, it's just a small one. And now we enter some amazing driving roads. I have driven so many different cars here to test them. Most recently the BMW i3. So this area is absolutely amazing for driving, because you have the curves and you have the speed limit to drive and push the cars. And this car is so quiet and nice, and I can talk to you without a lav mic, without any issues, due to the sound isolation that's in these newer Teslas, which is much better than before, and closing in on brands that are known for their premium sound isolation and comfort. Here you can see a typical Norwegian road. This is how most of Norway is, and it's actually just single lane roads in each direction, of course. But I can still use autopilot, and it's actually a very, very nice thing to be able to use lane holdings reliably on a road like this. So let's test it now. We are going into the fog, I think, and we will see if it's degraded. It takes the turns. Sometimes in steep turns it says autopilot limited. That's fine, of course. Because it will do the turn regardless, in my experience. So now we go into the fog. Let's see if it can still do it. I hold both hands on the wheels, and you can see it's disconnecting because of all the fog. It is a reason why I'm driving to Oslo, actually. Why leave Western Norway when it's so beautiful? Well, I have an unannounced project I'm going to, which is actually related to this YouTube channel. So I won't actually talk about it too much, because it's still under wraps when this video comes out. So you will see on this channel what kind of project I am up to. The people that are driving fossil cars are those that are slow in Norway. Usually you can see a Tesla speeding by, or any other electric car, really. The ones who are driving slow are the fossil cars. I don't understand. You can just fill up your car in 2 minutes. Maybe it is to reserve fuel due to fuel prices. We have passed 100 kilometers, so it's time to do a check-in on efficiency. And our efficiency has gone down. We are now at 141 watt-hour per kilometer. We have driven for 1 hour and 40 minutes. So it's estimating 2% on arrival. That's plenty enough for me, to be honest. And we will see as we move into the mountains now. Our efficiency will go further down, and I'm curious to see what it will estimate on arrival then, and if we can recuperate some of that buffer once we drive down from the mountains. I also have to visit the bathroom sometime soon, and of course you can charge while you are in the bathroom, and then I would have enough buffer to not even think about this. But I won't charge because this is a challenge. Wow, the sun is here! Finally! So much fog in the morning, but throughout the day it always goes away and you get these beautiful views right out to the fjords. Just stopping here for a quick bathroom break. So the current drive 137 kilometers and we are at 69% now. So let's see how it goes. As I said, no need to charge to get to Oslo so far. It says 1% on arrival, plenty enough. We are now reaching the mountains, and there is still a little bit to get to the top of the mountain, but here we are driving on passing our third or fourth supercharger on this stretch, and we are still at 57%. In addition to those superchargers, there were a lot of just third-party chargers. So in case of for any reason whatsoever, if you're towing or if it's minus 30 outside or something else, there are so many chargers in Norway everywhere, so you could most likely just stop wherever and find at least one charger. But as I said, we have passed 3 or 4 Tesla superchargers, which are the easiest for charging Teslas, of course, and the cheapest as well. And it just shows the amazing development of chargers lately. And this one that we drove past right now, Bergen, is brand new. And I did a video on that on the channel already. Our average efficiency is 149 watt-hour per kilometer, so it has increased, but we are soon at the top of our elevation. And after that, it's mostly just down to Oslo. We have used 25 kilowatt hours, and this battery in this car is 60 kilowatt hours available. And we have driven 169 kilometers. I will monitor the efficiency, because it says 2% on arrival in Oslo right now. Some people will ask, but this doesn't work in winter. What about winter? Well, I've driven a lot of electric cars in winter, and the most viewed video on my channel is me driving the ID bus in minus 25 degrees Celsius at this exact same stretch, and I show you that it works. But in this car, maybe you would need a longer charging stop to make it comfortably, but still, it would be like 10-15 minutes charging or something along those lines. So not anything to really worry about. And also about towing trailers, because of the aerodynamics, you would actually most likely get half the range or something like that. It's also dependent on the weight, but mostly aerodynamics. And you would definitely need to charge. So, but of course I'll test that. I don't have a trailer right now, and it's not winter conditions right now, so I'm testing it in autumn conditions. Like you can see, these beautiful colors on the trees around here. So stay tuned, and if you subscribe, you will see those tests later. And this has an LFP battery, which is harder to heat up, so I'll test this car in extreme cold in the coming winter. So stay tuned for that. If you are going to buy a Tesla, you can use my referral to get $1,000 off, or €1,000 off, or 11,500 Norwegian kroners off, or whatever local currency you have. And I will get about $500 in store credits from Tesla. Full disclosure, but if you don't use my link, ask your friends and family with Tesla if they have a link they want you to use, and they will gain the benefit and you will gain the benefit. But the stupidest thing you can do is to order without any link, because you don't get any benefits. It's basically just a discount. So make sure to use someone's referral link if you buy from Tesla right now. Mine is linked down below, and I do appreciate if you use my link, but I feel like the most important message here is to use your friends, family, or other content creators as well. If you find some smaller content creators, or some content creators you like more than me as a content creator, make sure to use their link. It means a lot, and it's just a win-win situation for everyone, including Tesla, which sells more cars. This car drives absolutely amazing for being just the cheapest Tesla you can buy. It handles curves so nicely. High-speed curves, absolutely no problems. Amazing grip, actually, even though we have these efficiency tires that I did mention earlier that maybe it wasn't the best tires available. And yeah, it's just, you can throw it into the corners, and it's so planted, absolutely no body roll, aside from very high-speed corners where it will wobble a little bit. Just an amazing car to drive, so easily placed and so comfortable at the same time. I think they need to balance comfort and sportiness with the Model 3, and I think they did a pretty good job with the new Tesla Model 3. The earlier one was a little bit too sporty, just like the early Tesla Model Y was way too stiff and very fun to drive in my opinion, but insanely uncomfortable on bumpy roads. This one is so much better. Absolutely amazing to drive. Uh-oh, we have not reached the halfway point yet. We are just at 203 kilometers. But we have only 45% left. How can we reach our destination when that's true? Well, we are on top of a mountain, and the benefit of electric cars is that you can recuperate the energy when you are declining. So let's see if we actually can make it at all. It says 3% now, but it's fluctuating like crazy. It's at 0% just a minute ago. So I'm super curious on how this will play out. Maybe it's a very close call, or maybe we will have a bit of margin. I have no idea yet. We are too far from our destination yet, but we are at 45% right now. It is so many beautiful colors right now in the autumn. So beautiful to drive here. I think it's the best season for views in Norway, almost. Norway is also nice in the summer, of course, but for getting all those colors and the kind of yellow sun that gives a nice contrast to the blue sky, I think autumn or fall is the best season. But it's cold and it's windy, usually. Today it's fine. Today it's actually sunny. But usually it's not a good season for weather, and very foggy, like we did experience this morning. Anyways, beautiful driving roads, beautiful sceneries. You can't see it right now, but I'm looking at mountains and some a lake, and all these beautiful autumn trees that are super orange to brown to red and some green as well, so it's early in the autumn still, so you have the whole spectrum of colors, and that's why I think autumn is the best season for views, especially in Norway, but also other countries, especially like for example in the United States, in New England, the autumn is beautiful there as well, because you have all these colors. And now we are so lucky with the weather. This is not typical autumn weather, and it's so nice to see. Now we are driving through Geilo, and this is kinda the halfway point, or many people regard it as the halfway point between Bergen and Oslo. So let's look at our stats. We are at 41% state of charge, and we have 220 kilometers to go. We have driven through 239 kilometers, and we have used 33 kilowatt hours. So that's why we have used over half the battery, so we have 41% left. And our average efficiency right now is 139 watt-hour per kilometer. And that's better than when we climbed up to the top of the mountain, but I think our efficiency can be a little bit better than 139 watt-hour per kilometer. Anyways, I'll continue to monitor, and it estimates 2% on arrival right now, so we will see how close we get. For me, a good driver assistance system needs to work on B-roads. B-roads is the main type of road in Norway, and B-roads are not like highways. We have one lane in each direction and a lot of turns, and a good driver assistance system will of course be able to have adaptive cruise control like I've enabled now, but also lane holding on these types of road, and the ability to exceed the speed limit to match the flow of traffic. And not everyone has this, but Tesla has this, and while it's far from perfect, it is a very nice system to use at least once in a while, and especially on road stretches that are not as curvy. It is, when it's straight through, you really want a good ADAS system that works on B-roads with traffic in the opposite direction. And I know there are others out there that does this as well, but this is something I really enjoy about the Tesla, and why it's one of the many reasons why I bought one. It is this extremely good driver assistance system. It holds the lane confidently even though we are not on a highway, and of course it holds the speed and it keeps the distance with the car in front, and it works nicely. It will do proper turns. So now we are coming up to a rather not very steep turn, but it's a turn, and it handles it absolutely perfectly. There are certain scenarios where it doesn't work that well, but on these roads it's perfect, and it also slows down. Like you can see, we have a tractor in front, and all you need to do is to hold one hand on the steering wheel, at least one hand, and give it a little bit of weight. Doesn't need to hold it hard. You can literally trigger the sensor with your pinky if you want. So very, very nice to see. Now we are driving past yet another supercharger. I don't know how many superchargers we have passed now. Quite a few, and more coming. Here is the JOWUA supercharger. Great place to stop if you like Burger King, but as mentioned earlier, we will not stop at any supercharger. At least not for now, because we have 3% estimated on arrival. It's a little bit slower, and we have an insane efficiency. 121 watt-hour per kilometer right now for the entire trip in average. This is our 300 kilometer check-in, and yeah, this is awesome efficiency. We have 5% estimated on arrival, we have 36% right now, and we have 160 kilometers to go. So this is super exciting. The efficiency just rises because we are of course driving down from the mountain, but we also have a bit of traffic here. So right now we are 10 under the speed limit, but it fluctuates a little bit. We are now driving past just another supercharger, one of many on this trip, and I thought I'd just check in with the numbers. So we have driven 354 kilometers. We have used 42 kilowatt hours, which gives us an efficiency of 119 watt hour per kilometer. So still improving, and the weather is fantastic. And I'm just chilling with autopilot, which makes the drive such a breeze on this B road, and just absolutely amazing views. Here you can see we are driving past the Gulsvik supercharger. So here is 18 unoccupied stalls, like you can see on the map here. No charging queues, 18 unoccupied stalls. I think there is 24, so 6 people charging probably. Let's see. Seems like around 6 people charging on the Tesla superchargers. Absolutely amazing. We don't need to stop there. We still have estimated 5% on arrival in Oslo from Bergen. Absolutely amazing efficiency for this car. We are closing in. We are now in the traffic I was talking about, so it's slow from here, but I'll of course keep you updated the whole trip. So we have driven 413 kilometers and we have used 48 kilowatt hours. This means that we have an average efficiency of just 116 watt hour per kilometer. This is insanely low consumption and high efficiency. This is great. Right now I'm sandwiched between 2 i3s, which is kind of like the dream scenario, and we are about 1 hour left from Oslo. It'll probably be a lot of traffic, and that will not increase consumption anyways. It will rather decrease the consumption. It is now estimating 5% on arrival in Oslo, where we said, and we are currently at 15% state of charge. So, looking great. I'll just chill in traffic here. It hasn't been too bad before now, so I'm happy for that, and I'll talk to you soon. Hello. While I do actually I do actually enjoy the sound system in this car, it does feel a little bit of a letdown over my long-range Model 3 from 2021 that I had. And it's to be expected because you don't have a subwoofer and you don't have the amplifier. But I thought this sound system in the new Tesla Model 3 Highland was a significant upgrade. And while it is significant in the long range versus the old long range, I have tested both, of course, it is a little bit of a letdown in this car. And I'm not an audio engineer, so it's difficult for me to explain with the proper terminology. But I feel like when you play loud music, I like to play loud music. Some of the voices are, I think they're clipping, so they sound like they literally get lost, or they are kind of sharp, and it doesn't sound that nice. The bass is actually surprisingly good for not having a subwoofer. So the bass is, I feel like, is kind of fine, and I feel that like the mids and the highs are fine. The mids are fine until you get to the voices part of the songs or the podcasts, and especially when you have the S sounds or the high sounds, it doesn't sound that great. And it's still better than like competitors, but I have set my expectations for Tesla to have the fantastic sound system that they have. And while it is fantastic, I would pay $1,000, $2,000, whatever, to have the system upgraded to the same that's in the long range, which I think is amazing. These losses I'm talking about only happens at medium and high volume. If you like to listen at 50% or less, I don't hear any of these aberrations, I would maybe call them. Then it's totally fine. Just a little note, and something I noticed about this car that I actually didn't like and was kind of disappointed. But it's very far from a bad sound system, and it's still greater than many other systems. So, you know, you give and take. To my right you can see the bus lane in Norway, and it was recently closed for electric cars. But since it is Sunday today, it's the weekend, I am allowed to drive in the bus lane. And this is a recent change that they made to the rule. And this is a nice perk of owning an electric car. But this is maybe one of the last times we might be able to do so, because every car starts becoming electric. Now we are driving into Oslo, and yeah, we are passing the Oslo border with 7% state of charge. Isn't that kind of awesome? And it still estimates 5% at Ullevål. We are here! Plan your next charge. Yes, for sure. I'm here at the charger right now. Trip A, which is the trip that we have taken, 466 kilometers, 54 kilowatt hours used, and 115 watt hour per kilometer is our efficiency. This is absolutely insane. At 54 kilowatt hours, this means that it's about 6 kilowatt hours left in the battery. My guess is that it's around 5 kilowatt hours left in the battery. In conclusion, you can drive from Bergen to Oslo on one charge on the cheapest Tesla in the world. Isn't that absolutely insane? I think it's kind of insane because it's 7 hours and 15 minutes. The time is 16 or 4 p.m. and that's the Google Maps estimate for driving here. Absolutely amazing. I had one stop, and that was a bathroom break. No charging from Bergen to Oslo, 466 kilometers. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in a video very soon.